What is up, Hoopers? Back again with another product review, and this is the one you all have been waiting for. This is the video that so many of you have requested to see. The video that so many of you have been waiting to watch. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. The Wilson official NBA basketball is here. I've played with this basketball twice already, and it's time to get into this review, so you know what we're doing. Hey! Alright, so first thing, I apologize for the new setup. It's really not even a new setup, it's a temporary setup. Working on a new layout at the crib for my other videos. I want it to be, aesthetically pleasing, of course. But I got the basketball. I can't wait any longer. You guys can't wait any longer for this review. I had to put it out. So, here I am. Here it is. This box, if you're interested or curious about what's inside that box, go watch my Nike Dunk Off-White review and unboxing. That'll let you know what lot number is inside of there. But you didn't come here for that. You came here for this. So ladies and gentlemen, Wilson, you've done it again. I wish that I could tell you that the $50 increase from the Spalding to the Wilson basketball, it's not necessary. I want to tell you that the $200 price point for a basketball is ridiculous. It still kinda is. But what I will say about this basketball is that it's probably better than the Spalding, I'm not gonna lie. And it's for a number of reasons. Everything that you love about the official Spalding basketball, you're going to love about this basketball. But this basketball actually takes the official Spalding to the next level. Let me explain. First, you remember how we talked about how the panels were going to be different in regards to the size of the Spalding. Now, I should have brought the Spalding basketball to do a comparison so you can kind of see them side by side. But quite honestly, if I were to do that, it would probably confuse you based on the design of this basketball versus the design of the Spalding. And the biggest standout is the panel, and most importantly, I think it's called the pebbling or whatever the touch and feel of this is. Like the little dots on the surface of this basketball are much more raised than on the Spalding. Why is that important? It's important for two reasons. One, ball control. You can feel kind of just the individual pebbles on your fingers to kind of help you with more grip and more ball control, along with having more control when you're shooting. As a result though, versus the Spalding basketball, I felt like this basketball, at least as I'm still breaking in, I've only played with this basketball twice indoors, it kind of like rips up your fingertips, if that makes any sense. A lot of us are over sanitizing our hands, over washing our hands, and our hands end up dry as hell. So if you have a hand like that and you start dribbling with this basketball, before your hands start to like get sweaty, it's gonna hurt a little bit. A couple of those dribbles, it's gonna feel like you're running. It's really hard to describe. I remember, I think it was in the early 2000s, the NBA tried to implement that microfiber Spalding basketball that everybody hated. And it felt a lot like that. It felt like this basketball at first feels the same way a Wilson Solution does when it's fully broken in like that dark red, and it has that weird, soft, kind of grainy feeling. Now, all of the descriptions make it sound like it's terrible, like this isn't something you should use or purchase. On the contrary, that helps with having great ball control, and quite honestly, it takes care of about 6 months worth of breaking in that you would have to do with the Spalding basketball right away. This basketball, in my opinion, is already 6 months ahead in the breaking in period from the second that you get it, which if anyone has an official Spalding, you know how long it takes to break in that basketball. And if you can have any help in kickstarting that process, you'll take it. So to have that started for me is wonderful. Now, another thing, the bounce. The bounce is very consistent, or you know, it is consistent. It does take a bit of getting used to, and really on the return. You're gonna have a lot of control on the down push on the dribble, but the bounce back up varies. You're gonna have to get used to the ball not bouncing back up as high as the force you're using to throw down. Now, I don't know if that's because of the genuine leather material, if that's just how it reacts to the court as far as just the padding and cushioning inside of the basketball. But you're gonna have to get used to the dribbling. It takes, for me anyway, it took at least the second session for me to find like a consistent dribble that I felt comfortable with. Now, every single product or basketball that I get, I go to the gym, I run it through the same set of drills every single time. I've got a set of dribble moves with the right leg, left leg, behind the back, between the legs, all of that. I've probably got 100, 150 dribbles in the beginning. After that, I'm going to the half court and I'm running those dribble moves and I'm running them into finishes at the rim. Layups, floaters, you name it. This helps me just to get an idea of, what it's like to, get the ball out of a dribble move, the touch on the backboard, the spin on the backboard, the weight of the basketball. Now, this might be the lightest basketball that Wilson has ever produced. I think it's a little bit heavier than the Spalding, but as a result, it almost feels like you have a little bit more control because there's more weight. So you kind of, before the shot's even out of your hands, you have a really good understanding, like, okay, I know where this ball is gonna go. Versus the Spalding, sometimes you let the ball go and you don't know where it's gonna fly. And a lot of that is because, unlike composite leather basketballs, when you're dealing with a genuine leather basketball like the Spalding or now the Wilson official, the key is touch. With a Wilson Evolution, I can put my fingers on the grooves and almost manipulate the trajectory of the basketball. With a Molten, it's got so many panels that I'm almost directed to shoot straight. And the Molten basketball is such a beautiful basketball to watch come out of somebody's hands. You get to see, how good or how bad your shot actually is. But with this, it's all touch. I mean, don't think about trying to direct the ball into the hoop. Don't try to drop it into the basket. Really trust the power that you're using on the shot, and the ball is gonna travel consistently. That's kind of what I noticed about this basketball. Very similar to the Spalding basketball. It's not really about having control over the basketball within the grooves and the panels. It's really more about being consistent with your muscle memory, which that's the underlying theme with these official NBA basketballs. You got to be able to really shoot to be able to shoot with these things. And if you can't, it's going to show up very quickly. Now, I'm not going to spend too much more time talking about this basketball because ultimately I want to go hoop some more. But I know so many of you wanted to know more about this basketball, wanted to see it up close and personal, wanted to get a good look, and quite honestly, I wish every single one of you can get an opportunity to play with this basketball because it's an absolutely wonderful basketball to play with. If you have the money that you love to hoop like me and you're really committed to putting in the time needed to break in this basketball, I would suggest buying this basketball. This is my favorite basketball that I own now. I know a lot of you know how much I love my Wilson solution, but I'm sorry, babe. This is the new #1. The solution is the side. This is the main, man. Hey, it is what it is. But you guys got any questions? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. You guys always have such great questions, such wonderful feedback. Let me know what basketball you'd want me to review next. Let me know what kind of product you would want me to review next. And quite honestly, suggest things that aren't basketballs. Are there shooting sleeves that you're curious about? There's like 99,000 different types of compression and knee sleeves out there. Do you want to know which ones I use and which ones I feel are the best out there? You know, what type of, ball handling little equipment or gadgets, or I can even share drills that I use for my players. Whatever you guys are interested in that revolves or involves hoop, I'm with it. So until next time, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Peace. I love this basketball. This basketball.